All right, folks, let's move on to the next impairment. We got a bunch here. This is one, I'll set this up. I went out in the field with Mr. David Kelly from Denver, a good friend and a really consummate pro. This is a good one because it started off as a suck out, and as you'll see in the video, when we got up into the problem in the thick of things, once we made contact with the amplifier module, it started to resonate, and it actually changed the signature. And you could see it in the next trace. You'll see it where there's an additive component where it resonates and creates a peaking effect. And that is one of the interesting aspects of these works. Sometimes they'll morph from one to the next. So go ahead and roll the clip.
Hello everybody, Larry and David here on a field day in beautiful Aurora, Colorado, bringing it live for PNM. We are looking at an intermittent suckout that's moving across the frequency spectrum and causing all kinds of intermittent video tiling problems and in RF levels in the DOCSIS spectrum. Dave, any comments on your observations?
No, it's just it's a mover, so it's not consistent in the same frequency. You'll notice we have 20 days worth of data that we can see these signatures and timestamps, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it goes away.
Yeah, we'll take everybody through the shop data once we get back. But in the meantime, David and I, we're going to do a little bit of analysis on the topology, figure out which active to go to. We'll take you there and give you a visit and walk you through the troubleshooting process. Really excited to stand by. We're going to do some analysis here and go fix some broken cable. Okay, we're out to the amplifier of suspect, and Mr. David's going to pop the pedestal. Okay, no snakes or other surprises.
No yellow jackets.
Yeah, no yellow jackets. Okay, we're going to get our trusty XM2 meter and start taking some measurements here, and we'll follow up in a minute.
So it's pretty common to have these grounding issues in these types of modules. Little clips in them sometimes break off. They're just glued. We've had to order them in the past, extra clips to get in there. So we're gonna pull this mod and reseat it, and I think that's gonna clear our
yeah, give it an inspection, see if anything's going on.
See if there's any corrosion, and clean it up a little bit and put it back in.
Yep, very good.
Okay. We ordered a bunch of these little clips. I'm gonna show you. And back in the day, they had these little this little foil. Oh, buddy. Are you recording? Very common with these. You see all the cutouts. So, oscillations really easy. Suckouts, grounding issues, right? And you can see that some of the foil is not touching the grounding on the housing in here. And so I have a feeling that unless this is changed out, it'll come again in another 3-4 years, or maybe sooner. And heat, it's get hot, cool down, hot, cool down. Colorado has very, very dramatic temperature swings. You can't even put your hand on that, so it's really warm. So we'll go ahead and check her out.
Okay, there we're doing a full spectrum scan. Wow, look at that peak. Okay, that's a doozy. Looks like you hit it spot on. Okay, there you can see the spectrum trace. The meter picked up the wave, and look at that. As you see the power peaking, you can see the MER dropping out.
Wow.
Right out of the bottom. So that's video tiling problems all day long, all kinds of issues, quam locks and whatever.
And by the way, that's right next to, what frequency do you have there, Larry?
That one is actually right on the, I think it's about 500, right on the AGC.
Well, that's right on the ADU pilot.
Jeez, wow.
Wow.
That's bad. Okay, good score. Good score.
Okay.
David, let's get this buckled up and get these customers happy again.
Yes, sounds good to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Hold on. There you go with the screws. All you did is tighten
the faceplate cup, the faceplate screws.
Yeah, on the module.
That's right.
There you go.
Did it clear?
Yep.
It's not tight yet.
Well, keep tightening. Okay, folks. That's why you don't want to just whack it with a stick to make it go away. You want to really get in there and do a little homework to make sure you get the problem fixed. And we'll get this thing in a state where we know it's not going to come back, and we'll have happy customers.
All I'm doing is touching these base plates.
That's it. Okay, great job, David. So we reseated the module and snugged everything down. Had a couple loose screws all over the place. And now I'm going to go ahead and rescan. And we have a nice flat spectrum. There's a little bit of a signature from the jumper. We'll go rescan once we disconnect everything. Here you can see we've got a probe in there. We didn't want to disrupt the connections or any customers. So
we had everybody hooked up to this.
Everybody's hooked up good. Is very minimal disruption to the customers here. And we got a nice flat frequency spectrum coming out of this bridger. So we're going to go back to the shop. Good job, Mr. David.
All right, Knuckles.
And we will give you a readout afterwards and show you all the homework. This is what we're trying to do all day long with our PNM. Good.
These modules are riddled all over Aurora, so this is a very, very common for this place to see these.
Hey David, how consistently would you say the techs in the area understand this problem and what to do about it and how to troubleshoot it?
Larry, a lot of times they just change the module out unnecessarily. I think there's still some life on that module. It's really just a grounding issue. But you know, so it's something that there's an educational piece there for sure that could, if they understood more about how grounding impacts the spectrum and especially oscillations.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
sure. Well said. Okay, well, we're going to button this one up and carry on. We'll see you all back in the shop for PNM Live.
It was a really fun one, a beautiful day out with my good friend David Kelly in the field. He's just such a pro. Ron, any comments on grounding issues in general and what we do to fix them or not?
Well, David made a good point about people sometimes just outright replacing the module when it's not necessary. And in many cases, a suck out can be caused by anything that's loose. The cover on the module, the module screws or captive hardware itself, grounding issues behind the chassis, maybe the spring contact material on the connectors, the pushing connectors that go into the motherboard. Sometimes you find loose screws on printed circuit boards that can cause suckouts. And in some cases, they're related to resonant peaking, which is another issue related to oscillations. In this case, we see the standing or the suckout, which is often considered to be a very, very, very short time delay echo or standing wave. So there are a lot of things that can contribute to it, but basically getting in there and tightening things up, reseating the module will usually fix these.
And Larry, I want to comment just onto what Ron said. I started out my career designing these amplifiers, and it was very common that we would see suckouts and also resonant peaks because of resonant frequencies in the RF amplifiers. The fix to that was to put in little ground stalks, little piece of copper in there. And what we're seeing now is over the years, that ground stalk and the pieces of copper, as David was saying, he knew it so well, gets some oxidization on it or falls out, comes loose. And now we see these things where the guys have to go out and fix them. So, I mean, he knew it so well. I think it's really important that other techs in the industry understand these same root causes that can cause either suckouts or resonant peaking.
It's important to get at the root cause because it will tell you whether or not it's a replace or a fix in the field.
Indeed.
Yeah, one of the key parts. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that David mentioned in there, and you kind of have to be careful about, is when you're looking at these, just because you open the lid and it goes away, doesn't mean you fix the problem, right? And same as whacking it with a stick. Yeah, might fix the problem, but you'll be back there in a few days, a week, or a month. Yeah. So you really have to make sure that you actually do go in there and sort of like reseat that module and do that work. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say. Spot on with that, James. Is a lot of times it's caused by a corrosion or an oxidization in those connectors. These things have been in there for years with the temperature cycling, and it just happens. And so if you whack it with a layup stick or you kick the pedestal, you might make it go away, or might just go away when the temperature changes. But all you have to do is go unseat the module, reseat it again, hit all the screws, make sure they're tight, torque them in the proper sequence, and most of the time you're not going to have to go back. Otherwise, congratulations, we'll see you back there again.
Oh yeah, and I love David's description of this one being a mover, and the point here is that this suck out was changing frequency and moving across the spectrum, which means that it's very, very likely to be service affecting to subscribers, and if this is happening in the hardline plant, fairly close to the node, or in an area that's serving a lot of subscribers downstream from that point, that means a lot of subscribers can potentially have their service affected as the suck out moves across the spectrum and trashes the either the QAM signals or the OFDM signal if it happens to go in that part of the band. And if it crosses where the AGC pilot is, then the amplifiers can go nuts because the AGC simply won't work properly.
That was this case, right?
No, this one wasn't. Oh yeah, the resonant peaking was right at the
On these,
Yep.
Yeah.
One other thing I forgot to mention is as we were arriving, there was a service van on the other side of the block where we parked, which was right from the same amplifier. So there was a service call. I don't know if it was related, but this is so typical of what we have to deal with. And those poor techs in the house, there's nothing they could do to fix this other than maybe swap the equipment and cross their fingers.